This is everybody's day. This is everybody's day.
When I came back from youth service, I served in my degree, came back in 2009. I knew that I was cut out from ministry, needed a job, got to Lagos because I felt that I was designed to be supplied from my sweat. Got a job and then entered business. I was a master forex trader in Lagos. I could be gisting with you and the dollars will be coming. Many top guys in Lagos who handle most of those broken firms were our guys. Talk some of them, talk with some of them. I still know their names. And I began to build progressively. I could buy anything across my heart. I had a penchant for shoes. I had a penchant for wristwatches. I had a penchant for suits. I was so wealthy that I could walk into a car port and say, this one I want to. I don't have the money today, but give me 2 nights. I was that rich. After a while, my life hit a tangent. And I found out that many strange ladies began to come close to me. Most of those ladies were ladies in the banks, because they were wondering what kind of business I was doing. Oh, can you take us out for a weekend? And if I withdrew in millions, I could give in hundreds of thousands. You just take money, take money. You see, I wasn't thinking because I had found a tap, a source of inexhaustible supplies. And then Jesus came and said, your place of assignment is Ogbomoso. I said, no. We can't do this. Lagos is where the life is. When he came the third time, I challenged him. What will I be doing there? The day you can feed me, Ogbomoso send me. I didn't know that it was not wisdom for the clay to say to the potter, what makest thou out of me? And in 2 weeks, I was begging on the streets of Lagos. I had all my creditors after me until I left church one afternoon. And instead of going to rest at home, I spent the night in a police station. I didn't have money. But that night, it was in a very small cell. We were about 16 thereabout, about 16, 17. And immediately I entered, the last occupants of the police station were about to descend on me, because there's a way they drill new entrants. And then I heard Aki, who was our cell captain that night. He was the longest serving person in that cell. Aki shouted, don't touch this one. How? I thought my value was in the money that I had. And then I began to cry. And Aki said, why are you crying? Didn't you see that your angels came with you? Because I had lost awareness of the kind of favors that I had. I felt that God had left me. I slept on the only mat in the room that night. And he said to me, we know you don't belong here. You will leave tomorrow morning, but this cell is supposed to be empty. That's what you must do. Well, that cell became a prayer hall, because we prayed into the morning, worshipped into the morning. And after a while, one by one, I began to give solutions to everybody's problem. I left at 11:05 the following morning, and that cell was empty. So I can be distressed and still be anointed. I found out that the enemy cannot take what God gave. He cannot. You see, the enemy has no capacity to carry what God gave you. Sometimes he just distracts you. He makes you aware of the things that the world can give, and then you lose your favor. So that in the days when you become troubled, you forget that God called you. You feel that you should go into hiding, and that an end has come to ministry. Can I announce tonight, what ended was the spell in Babylon. The life in Zion will surge tonight. I took a walk to my sister. She was at Adeola Deku. That's where I brought that prophecy from. I sat in her house and I was wondering, but Jesus called me. How do I stand again? How do I go back to the cities where my creditors are? How do I survive? And I heard the voice of Jesus audibly. He said, son, you are an eagle with broken wings, but there's still ministry inside you, and you will fly again. He gave me a timeline, and we're getting closer to the timeline, because he assured me that by the time I clock 40, the eagle will start flying. It is to announce that my last 10 years of ministry was not ministry at all. There are energies that are supposed to be launched in November. And Jesus will give us life, because from November we'll begin to fly. It's been a dark walk. And what people celebrate, for me, is pain. Because I saw people who did not hit my curve, who have seemingly traveled further. But I know that it's until the Spirit comes. Because Ahab, you can have the best chariots. It's been 10 years of guarding my loins. It's going to be time to begin to move. Well, after that prophecy was my police station experience. And then I crept into Ogbomoso like a fugitive. And every time I was invited back into the cities where my creditors were, I was afraid. But the one who sends defends the sent. He defends the sent of Esau's blessing. Are you with me? But when Jacob was going to meet Esau, God came in an encounter. When they wrestled that night, he took, the only thing he touched was what Jacob called strength. His strength was in the ability to run fast. That if Esau came, he would take off. When he woke up the following morning, he woke up limping. So that now you will need to trust in strength that is superhuman. That the last time somebody came and said, "We're looking for you," the ability to become invisible was your strength. I have stood in Lagos I was standing at the gate of a barracks. That's on Amadu Bello Way. My creditors were military men. I saw a green jeep enter and come out, enter and come out. And they kept calling me. "Where are you standing?" I said, "I'm standing at the gate." They said, "We can't see anybody." I said, "But I'm there." So I called a few people who are seeing the jeep. Say, "Oh, guy is standing here. We can see the jeep." But they drove up. You know why? Because if the person you are looking for says he's seeing you and you can't see him, you don't stay. The defense system is large.